Given the following problem, simplify each of the following expressions, and then we're just expected to do operations with fractions basically. So A, we have 2 over 7 times 14. Now one way that I usually remember one of my professors teaching me is to just take the whole number and multiply it times the numerator of the fraction, and that's it. And then you simplify if you can. So 14 times 2 is 28 over 7. 28 over 7 can be simplified to 4. Now, what if you can't remember that? Well, we have 2 over 7 times 14. Now, we have to remember that every single integer is also a rational number. There's always a 1 underneath. And so 14 times 2, that's 28, and that's 7. Now, all I did was multiply straight across, because that's what you do when you have two fractions. You just multiply straight across. And so 28 over 7 is just 4. Now, moving on to B, we have 10 over 15 divided by 2. When you have a fraction and you're dividing by a number or another fraction, you're going to multiply times its reciprocal. So this right here is going to turn into the following: 10 over 15 times a half. That's what it's going to turn into. And so afterwards, all we do is just multiply straight across, as we did in the previous problem. So 10 times 1 just gives us 10. 15 times 2 gives us 30. You can go ahead and cancel these two zeros out, and then all we get is 1 over 3. Now, what if I had 100 over 30? Well, you could still do the same thing. You just go ahead and cancel those two out, and you're left with 10 over 3. So then we have C. C gives us 7 over 3 times 9 over 14. Again, all we're doing is just multiplying straight across and then seeing if we can simplify anything in the bottom. So 7 times 9, and then 3 times 14. So 7 times 9 is 63. 3 times 14 gives us 42. And so then you must be wondering, well, can we simplify this somehow? Well, I can notice right off the bat that both of them have 7 in common. So we're going to go ahead and divide each one by 7. So 63 divided by 7 gives us 9. 42 divided by 7 gives us 6. So now that this fraction is reduced to 9 over 6. And so I hope you can see that each one can be further reduced by dividing by 3 further. So 9 divided by 3 gives us 3. 6 divided by 3 gives us 2. And there's nothing else that we can do after that, so this would be our final answer. Now we have D. D is 7 over 3 divided by 1 over 15. Well, as I mentioned before, when you're dividing two fractions, you're going to have to multiply them by the second fraction's reciprocal. So this right here, the whole problem becomes 7 over 3 times 15 over 1. And so then we have the following. 7 times 15 is going to give us 105. 3 times 1 is just going to give us 3. And that can be reduced to 35. E asks us to do the following. 7 over 3 plus 8 over 3. Whenever you're adding and subtracting fractions, the first thing you must do is make sure that their denominators are the same. Here we have 3 on each one, so we can go ahead and just add them. So 7 plus 8. Now, with multiplications, we use the denominator. We multiplied it across. We multiplied both denominators with each other. But with addition and subtraction, we leave the denominator alone. So 7 plus 8 over 3. This is what this problem now becomes. And that gives us 15 over 3, which is just 5. And now we have F, 7 over 3 plus 8 over 15. What's the first thing we do? We check to see if their denominators are the same, and they are not. So what do? Well, now we have to find the same common denominator, and it is 15. So 7 over 3 times 5 and 5, we're going to multiply the numerator and the denominator, each by 5, in order to get that same denominator, and that's going to give us 35 over 15. Now, If you were to reduce this, we will get back 7 over 3. So, so this problem now becomes 35 over 15 plus 8 over 15. And once we add them, again, you're not going to combine the denominator, you're just going to add the numerator. So 35 plus 8 over 15, which is going to give us 43 over 15. And there's pretty not much else, nothing we can do after that. We can't reduce this fraction any further. So now for g, we have 10 over 3 minus 8 over 3. Again, with subtraction, we also have to make sure that the denominators are the same. And here they are, so we can go ahead and move forward. So now we're going to have 10 minus 8 over 3, which is equal to 2 over 3. That's as much as we can take that one. Now for h, we have 7 over 3 minus 8 over 15. And so again, the denominator for both are not equal, so we have to go ahead and change this one. So 7 over 3, if we multiply 5 in the numerator and 5 in the denominator, we get the following. 7 times 5 gives us 35, 3 times 5 gives us 15. Now we can go ahead and subtract them. And again, if you were to reduce this fraction, you would get back 7 over 3. That means the same thing. So now our problem becomes the following. Now our problem becomes the following. 35 over 15 minus 8 over 15. And so we can go ahead and simplify that. 35 minus 8 over 15 gives us 27 over 15. And we can divide the numerator and denominator by 3. That's going to give us 9. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And this would be our final answer.